Hello, welcome back to my channel. And this time I want to discuss why I think it's kind of sad when everyone kind of gives the bad vibe of like Netflix and like how it would just like binging and watching Netflix was considered a bad thing. But I think sometimes movies really, honestly, can actually have a healthy verdict on your health and well-being. And the reason for it is your body needs to, shut down a little bit. It needs to let itself get less stressed, especially like in comedy movies. It helps your brain, calm down from all the stress that's been going on in your life. And, I think also it does a lot, and it sometimes can help you relate to the characters. Oh, they are going through a similar struggles too, and everything like that. And also, I think one of the big things is it helps us bring joy. It helps us bring grief and stuff. Movies are still a big thing in our society. The movie business is not going extinct anytime soon. Maybe the movie theaters aren't as big as they used to be. And now they're going to, Netflix, Prime Video, and Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, whatever. What other video screenings there are, video apps there are. So there's that and stuff. And additionally, it's kind of, sad, like when you hear like all these entrepreneurs saying, oh, I don't watch TV or I don't watch movies. Entertainment is a waste of time. It helps you calm the interactive brain. Even in a hustle culture, we need time to relax. Because if we don't relax, we don't, then we can never function. Sometimes even just watching a movie with a loved one could be great. Watching some funny clips on YouTube can sometimes be okay. But it's important not to binge on it and not do it too much. But everything in proportion. It's kind of like, sometimes having some healthy food or, some junk food sometimes can be a good treat, after all the hard work. I'm not saying you should eat junk food all the time. You shouldn't. You definitely shouldn't. And the same thing with movies. Everything a little in proportion isn't all that bad. Because if we're just constantly just eating healthy, then our body just gets stressed out, and we just get stressed out. It's important to have a little bit of a variety. And when these entrepreneurs say they never watch movies, well, a lot of them go to clips like with The Matrix or the movie Time or what other movies. They use references on those kind of movies, movies that kind of, think outside the box. And there are some movies that are more knowledgeable and more educational than any other, than other movies. And what is it? The thing I like, and I'm going to say my favorite movie has to be The Dark Knight. And part of the reason for that is that it also, when I was talking about analysis, sometimes a lot of people would comment that movie didn't really have any humor in it, or, it was too dry or too serious. Well, the way it was is it wasn't spoon-fed. The movie, it didn't spoon-feed the comedy in it. You kind of had to look at it, what is it? You had to kind of see it and observe. For instance, with the Brian Douglas, with the body on the window and that fake Batman, when the fake Batman and Joker put in his card, will the real Batman please stand up? You can kind of get the hint of the real Slim Shady please stand up. That kind of vibe. Points like that is it's designed for you to think more outside the box. Like, that could be a real good sense of humor if you catch it, you know. So you would have to look at it closely, at the card closely. It didn't spell it out for you, but if you look at it closely. But that's kind of my point, you know, is that movies can sometimes make you think outside the box. And kind of like video games, like I was talking about with video games, you kind of had to think outside the box, you know, in order to get to your destination. And that's where it really goes and comes to show. So movies can help us, you know, fantasize. It can help us with stories, you know. It can help us be in a little fantasy for a little bit. But it shouldn't mean that you avoid all contacts and avoid moving and doing exercise and doing other responsibilities that you need to be done. I am not saying that at all. But sometimes maybe one movie, maybe some clips of a movie on the weekends could really be a good thing, you know, after your brain has been processing. And I think this could be a good thing for entrepreneurs as well, because their brains need to, you know, really fix, you know, their brains need to relax a little. And even ongoing entrepreneurs, people who want to take on the work of later entrepreneurs, you know, because if you just go all in and just do all that, you're going to screw yourself later on. It's good that your brain can take a little bit of a break, whatever it is, whether it's a puzzle, whether it's video games, whether it's walking, whether it's movies, whether it's, you know, I think, you know, sometimes movies like that and video games, they can help you really think more outside the box, you know, and you refrain it. And that's the main thing about, you know, if you can retain the information you've seen in a movie, it could be a really great thing. It could be a real great thing to have that installed. But that's my take on this. Hope you subscribe, and I'll talk to you. Let me know what you have to say in the comments, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.